Peoria Connections. I'm Scott Soldat from the Chamber, and today we're going to talk about Relay for Life and the results of it here in Peoria, as well as the nomination for both of you for the Community Service Award. And this is Katrina Eaton and Troy Baker. Thanks for joining me on the show.
It's great to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Tell us how you're involved. We'll start with you, Katrina, how you're involved in Relay for Life.
Well, I've been a part of Peoria's Relay for the past 6 years. I originally started when my manager signed up a team with United Blood Services.
Okay.
And so we saw the mayor, we saw all the neat things that happened at the event, and we've just continued to be a part of it. For the last 2 years, I've kind of been associated with the committee for the event. And last year, they said that there was no chairperson that was going to be taking over for the event. And so this event takes many months, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and a lot of effort to put together. And so in July of 2012, there was nobody that was going to do it. And I was 5 months pregnant.
Wow.
So, I talked with Troy. We had a few decisions to make, and we decided that we were going to co-chair and be in charge of the entire event.
Oh, that's great.
It was a wonderful result. We had almost 80 teams, almost 600 participants, and we ended up earning $100,000.
Wow. So Troy, how does that compare to past years?
Well, she's the one that got me involved with the Relay for Life, and we've been part of it almost 5 years now. This is our 6th year, and she fibbed a little bit. She didn't discuss it with me. We didn't talk about it. She came home and said, "We're doing Relay for Life." My 5-month pregnant fiance just basically said, "We're doing Relay for Life." And I said, "Well, how's that going to work when you're having a baby?" And she says, "Well, you're going to run it." And early on, I did like a lot. And then my mom was battling cancer herself, and it came back. And around Thanksgiving, she had a sinus headache that turned out to be the cancer coming back, and she passed away 2 months ago. So the last 4 months, Katrina pretty much took the ball, and she did everything: sponsors, team, everything. She really ran with it.
So in getting those teams together, you actually have to go out and meet with companies and community leaders to encourage people to support a team, correct?
Correct. And we actually, countless hours. I think if I had to sit and total it over the past 10 months, we'd be somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,000 hours, because I went to pretty much every business I was affiliated with, or knew somebody, or saw somebody, or talked with somebody, or knew somebody that had battled cancer. I went in, talked with heads of those companies, talked with people that I knew had the connection, and really worked on sponsorships. We had over 20 sponsors, and probably about a fourth of the money that we raised was directly, through sponsorships or through the team development efforts.
Wow.
She's being modest. When she says a fourth of the money raised, she really means to say, in her own polite way, that I have personally had a hand in raising 25% of the total monies raised, because she went out to Target, she went out to Kohl's, she went out to PMT Ambulance, she went out to all these places. I was kind of more the logistics, and I got Culver's on board to take care of the survivor dinner and stuff like that. But like I said, I was the coach. She was my star quarterback, and without her, we would have made half the money and had half the teams. So I was more of the production side, and she was kind of the meat and potatoes driving force behind the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah, and
I'm proud of her.
I was especially proud. United Blood Services, for the past 6 years, had not had an opportunity to become one of our sponsors. And I didn't want to stand up in front of all those teams and say, well, I couldn't get my work to do it, but you should get yours. And so I really wanted to lead by example, and I sat down and said, we really need the support, and our executive officer did a gold sponsorship for $2,500.
Wow.
So it was very neat to see how groups that I didn't expect, or I always had that no from, really did respond and really did believe, once they talked about it, the mission, you're serving the community, you're helping to cure cancer. I work with so many cancer patients on my blood drives that they're needing blood while they're going through the treatment, and there's just been such an amazing connection, and very fulfilling to know that that's a good way to help and serve others here in the community in Peoria.
That's incredible. And speaking of family, you've got your daughter here, Dallas,
Right.
who's been crying through, or not crying, but making some noises throughout the interview. How old is she?
She is 6 months, and she's a little crazy right now because she wants to be part of the action. And you know, our big thing, about this one is Dallas doesn't have cancer. We just want to make sure she never does in her lifetime. That's our mission.
One last question. We're just about out of time, but the money that's raised, it goes directly to cancer research, support. You know, what's that? How does that work?
Well, and what I'm very proud of the American Cancer Society is the money that's raised stays here locally. So
Okay.
it will go toward wigs for women that are battling breast cancer.
Okay.
There's a Hope Lodge that if there's somebody somewhere else in the state outside of a 50-mile radius, they have a place they can stay that's free of charge when they're coming here for treatment. And that's really amazing because here in Phoenix, we are kind of a mecca with MD Anderson, with the Cancer Treatment Centers of America. There's a lot of people that from other parts of the state travel here, and then they're provided a place that's free of charge. There's a 24-hour, 365-day 1-800 number, and even even on Christmas or Thanksgiving, if somebody gets that news, there's somebody on the other side of a phone that's there, willing, waiting, and trying to find a way that they can help. They can find services, and they can also give a patient a ride. And so it's
Wow.
really neat knowing
So the money
that,
goes to a wide variety of causes.
Yeah.
And
things,
personally,
supporting people.
when my mom was going through all that stuff, I was lost. I didn't know what to do. And that 800 number was very instrumental and kind of guide me. These are the steps, whether she's battling or whether, you know, the battle is over and I need to make arrangements and I have no idea what to do. You call that 800 number, and anything you need, any support, whether it's posthumously or, like I said, while she's fighting, they're there for you to guide you in the right direction. Because I was lost. I had no idea what to do. And as far as like services or anything like that, they pointed me in the right direction and carried the ball for me.
Great. Katrina and Troy, thanks for joining me on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for watching Peoria Connections.